guys, I'm Misty Smith with my little green tree, and I'm excited to be back. I had some family things going on. I lost my aunt, and she was really near to me, and so that has been a bit hard. She was struggling with Alzheimer's, and I guess it just deteriorated her. And my sweet cousins, they gave everything to help her be good. So she passed with family, and it was hard. It was just hard, and that was only 2 weeks ago. And then our kitten, our cat, she's been 11 years old now, and she grew up with my children, and she passed away this weekend. So it's been pretty hard, and I needed a break, but I found myself being busy with stuff because it just, you know, it helps you move along. And cross-stitching, quilting, all my hobbies have helped me be me. It's been hard because I just, you know, you sometimes just want to be frustrated or a little bit angry about missing people, missing pets, missing, you know, having a hard time with things. Anyways, that was the hard stuff, and I just felt like I needed to keep going. And so today I am here, and I decided to video my progress because I've had a little bit, and we're gonna talk all about a new program I guess I'm doing, and called Warrios. I'll go ahead and talk about my spins, my spin chart wheel, how that's going, my progress on my WIPS. We're going to talk about haul. Did I say haul already? Because I'm looking at my notes so I stay on track, because there's a lot. So with my haul, I guess that would also be some Heaven Earth design stuff, and my 2025 progress, or my plans, I'm sorry, and December plans as well for the end of the year, the rest of this year. I have Quiltube, and I have just a couple book stuff, so we're going to be chatty today. Let's go ahead and sit back and relax, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I guess we should talk about is Whip Warriors. Or actually, let's talk about spins first. So I have a wheel that I started doing just October spins, and I put a few charts on there for October, and I would spin them, and that helped me do one project a day. So as a reminder for anyone that's new, I do one project an hour a day. I have 5 kiddos, and if you can tell, I am in a new spot and location, so I'll talk to you guys here in a bit about that. But because I have a busy going life with many pets and many dogs and just a busy life, I at least try to shoot a minimum of 1 hour a day. And so I decided to do this wheel to get me my project for the day. It was working great. It was so fun, and it still is so fun. And so I'm doing it for November. There is just one thing. I heard about Whip Warriors, and so yeah. So let's keep talking about the spinning wheel. So my spinning wheel, I went ahead and cleared it from October's charts. I put in November charts, and I think I have like 10 of them. I also put in my Whip Go. I have 2 Whip Goes that Marie called out. Marie does stuff. You can look her up for her YouTube video. And she rolled the numbers for the November. And November, I have Halloween in Chitta. And I have Halloween Party. I call it Halloween Room. It's Halloween Party. And both of those are my whip goes on my whip goes. So we'll talk about that. I'll show you my progress on those. So I consider it a whip go cross off when I do 5 days. So 5 hours, because each hour or each day is at least an hour. Now I could do more than that, but that's what I have right now. Well, I am excited that's on. I wish those were on for October. I mean, I still threw them in my wheel and worked on them. It's just hilarious to me that they get thrown in November. Okay, so let's pause for a second and tell you where I'm at. So if you hear noises upstairs, we are in my unfinished portion of my basement. You will see these walls that are unfinished because we finished a room and a few of the bathroom, a little bit of the area, for my brother-in-law to be in with us for like a year or so. And he's gone, so that's where I've been filming my video, is my guest room. Anyways, today, or this past week, my husband helped me kind of throw up a couple things so I can work more happily in my craft area. This will be my future craft room when it's done. I love to live in my unfinished spaces for a while. Just because I feel like when I live in it different than when I imagine it. And I always am like so sure this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to go. I don't need to move things around. And lo and behold, I end up needing to move things around. And so since this portion is unfinished, this is our rec area in our basement, and I have this little area that's supposed to be an office space, and I wanted it out here. No doors, if you can tell. Our game room stuff is back there, and I wanted a wall to put all my quilt stuff on. And I have windows. It is nice. Right now it's not, but it's going to be nice. And I needed more wall space, so we moved. I used to have a cabinet thing right here with my project board, and I just couldn't do that because it was just, I needed this wall. So anyways, if you hear anything, my baby's sleeping, so I'm trying to get this done while baby's sleeping. My daughter's upstairs, the rest of the family's gone, due to mourning for our sweet kitty that we raised since and nursed when we found her as a baby that was like only like 4 or 5 weeks old. She needed to be bottle fed for a bit, and when we found her, she was like goopy. Her eyes were all goopy. It was terrible. So I have a veterinarian technician. I was a veterinarian technician back in the day, and so when I took her in, I just vetted her back to health, and she became our baby kitty. And now she was over a decade, and she had neurological issues all her life, and it set in, and it set in fast, and she lost mobility and control of her bodily functions, and she was just having a hard time. So it was time to go put her down, and I really didn't want her to, but it was to go. And honestly, watching your kids go through such a hard time, I think, has been even harder, because it's already hard for a loss of a baby cat, or I guess I call her my baby cat. I'm sorry, I mean our cat. And we have her brother, so we took 2 of the litter, one for each of my older daughters, and which is hilarious because one of my daughters is called Jasmine. Her first name is Jasmine, and the cat is named Bagheera, and Raja. And then my other daughter's Zoe, and her cat is named Bagheera. Well, as they grew up, they really got like close to each other's cats. So my daughter, whose name is Jasmine, like in Aladdin, whose cat was Raja, she actually swapped. And so so Raja is the one that passed away. So that was really hard on my girls, on all of us, honestly. So today my daughter needed grace, and she needed time just to be and not to be around a lot of people. So she's upstairs, and I decided to stay home with her to just be with her while my family went out today. So I think everyone's struggling in their own ways, you you know, we have to give each other grace. So anyways, you'll hear her. That's all I was meaning to say. Okay, so let's go back to WIP Warriors now. Okay, so WIP Warriors. So I have to look, but I don't remember. I was watching YouTube or Flosstubes while I was working on projects, right? Just working from my spinning wheel. And there was a YouTuber that spoke about WIP Warriors, and it is a group on Facebook. And they are like a determined group to get projects done. I believe they're like, I'm in the USA. So they're on the other side of the world, and they are cracking out WIPs and working and doing all these games to keep you on task, or, you know, anyways. So they opened in November, so this month, and then they close it off, and I don't know how long they stay open for. So if you're interested at all, I would urge you to go on Facebook, and I just searched WIP Warriors, and I found them, and I had to answer their questions, go in, and I had to choose my route of which way I was going to accomplish things this year or next year. So they are wrapping it up. This group, these WIP Warriors, are wrapping up 2024. And so they open it up at the end of the year, so you can look at all the past challenges, you could participate, see what you want to do, and you have 3 routes you can go. So the first route is a no new starts. So that one is the hardest. And I was like, no, sorry. I have a million starts. I've only finished, I think I've only started like 12 starts. I don't know. I have to go through and actually see. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of patterns, but what have I actually started? And so I was like, there's no way. Okay. And then the second route you could go is accomplish 25 in 2025. So this past year, they're accomplishing 24 in 2024. The thing is, you cannot veer off of that. If you choose to have more than 25, you will get dropped down to the last level. You can replace a chart, from my understanding. You can replace, so if you fully finish a chart in 20, or one of your patterns, or one of your stitches, if you fully finish that, you can replace it, so you could have no more than 25. Well, I have like 72 projects in total. That not fully kitted, but that I want to start. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be restricted to 25, though I don't think I'm even there. I think, again, I have like a dozen or so started. And so I'm like, I don't want to risk that. This year I'm going to dip my toes in there and see. Anyway, so the third route is the sweewee, or so what you can when you can. I think they call it the sweewee. I was like, what is sweewee? And they were saying, I don't understand the acronym they put onto it, but whatever. That's you sew what you can when you can, and whatever project, just get them out, you know. And I'm like, okay, that's me right now. I would love to focus though on at least 25 and see if I can stick to that. And if I do, I think next year I'll push. Well, I guess next year they're changing it to 26, or I'm sorry, the year after. So anyways, that is something we'll talk about here in 2025 plans. But WIP Warriors, I touched into like their events and stuff, and let me tell you, they are fun. I just joined into one that is called Riff Off, and it is closing in my time. It actually just closed. And I don't know if you've watched the movie Pitch Perfect. You know how they like pick a word, and then, so this is what the cross stitch group does too. They picked a word, so the word was cold. So then you find one of your projects that you're in, and that you will do, and it has to do with cold. And so they went ahead, you would take a picture of it, write down why you chose that, and then you take a picture of where you're starting. So you have 2 different ways you could do the project. The first way is you could stitch 100 stitches to be considered done and riff off to the next project, which I'll talk to you about here in a second. or you could do an hour, which is what I do, or an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm trying to remember how they broke it up. You had to say what you were doing at the very beginning of the game and not deter from that. And they literally are it was so fun just to watch so many people making their projects work and how they were riffing off. So I did cold, and then from cold, or I'm sorry, I guess I'll show you. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about my WIPS, and because this is the game I joined in with WIP Warriors called the Riff Off, and this is how it works. So let's jump in. Okay, so WIP Warriors, the first Riff Off, the word was cold, and so I was like looking through my November list, and I actually spun my wheel, and I was like, oh, I need to do a buzz at midnight. And I'm like, this is my call for today. This had nothing to do with the WIP Warriors, but I was like, how do I tie this in? I'm like, well, midnight. Oh, I'm not even showing you the picture. I was like, the name on it is called A Buzz at Midnight. And this blue color of fabric is so like cold, and midnight is cold here. And so that's how I tied it in. I was just like, it is cold where I'm at. At midnight especially, you better be inside and covered up because it is freezing right now. And so I went ahead and posted a picture, which I'll go ahead and post here, I think, of this project. I wrote down why I chose it, and then once I finished my hour for the day, I posted the progress. So here's my progress, and I have pictures for the progress, but I'll just show you guys. I was able to finish all the light pink that goes around the flower, that blue little bit, and finish a portion of this leaf. So that was fun. And then I went ahead and I was like, okay, how am I gonna bounce off to the next project? And so my next project, I was like, okay, what do I have in this pattern? And this is how I did it, but because I was just still using the wheel, my wheel, I spun it and I got a pattern that I had to do. And so I tried to connect those. But if you didn't have a wheel or anything like that, you could just look at the picture and be like, okay, I have a pattern that has bees on it, or a hive. Let's just stick with bees. And so you would pull out your next pattern and be like, okay, I'm working on this pattern because this pattern has bees, my next pattern has bees. So that is what the Riff Off was. So my wheel told me to work on Give Thanks, which is the Primrose Cottage free stitch that they have. And so I was like, okay, how do I connect these two? Well, they both have leaves. See all the leaves. I just worked on all the leaves on there, and the pumpkin has some leaves. So I connected that, and on that day I did this. So I went ahead and stitched this. This was a new start for me. So this is how much I got done. This was part of my haul too, guys. So I don't know how to do haul and new starts and all that stuff. So I'm just going to show you. This is 14 count Ada vintage oat. And I just got it at Hobby Lobby because I really wanted to do this free cross stitch, and I didn't have time to order anything before it was called. And so anyways, that was the second one, and that was my whip that I did so far, and that was so fun. My next Riff Off was, I spun it again, and I was like, okay, I got Halloween and Cheetah. And I was like, how in the world am I going to connect this to this? And I was like, well, obviously the pumpkin, right? Like, there's pumpkins. So my pumpkin, the pumpkin here, and the pumpkin on, obviously, that I was working on. So that is how I riffed off. And I was like, okay, I'm doing that. So I'll post my previous progress. And this is my current progress. And you guys, I really need to serge this or something because it's fraying. This is my current progress. This was so fun. Honestly, I wasn't excited to do Halloween because I think I'm over it. You know, since Halloween was last month and I'm done. But it's fun. Anyway, so this was called Halloween Evening by Manny Didona. And this is 32 count linen. And I think this just, I love this fabric. I just wish they sent the 17 by 25, but this is actually like 14 by like 27 or something like that. Because it was end cut. And then this obviously is the edge piece. And so it's actually like, I don't know, 13 by 27. They tried, you could tell they tried to send me like be fair. It's just hard because this pattern was supposed to be one that takes up like this whole space. So this is going to be super tight and I'm just going to roll with it. And obviously it didn't come serged. It's tough. I was not fully impressed with what I got sent. But oh well, it is what it is. I'll just roll with it. And so that was my progress for my next riff. So I was able to do 5 riff offs. So that was number 3. My 4th one, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with connecting it? So I rolled my spinning wheel once I got my 1 hour done. And I ended up getting We Gather Together. And this, guys, was one of my hauls from last time. I was so excited. This pattern I just loved so much. I had to get it. And it is by the Proper Stitcher, We Gather Together. So this pattern is interesting. I mean, I don't mind it. They have the DMC conversion inside the chart, so I have to actually open it. And they have all the stuff listed. You guys, was it this one that I struggled on? It was this one. I'll show you why. Okay, so I rolled that and I was like, okay, how am I going to do the riff off from this to this? Well, this has a house and this has a house. Is that how I did it? Yes, it was. This has a house. That has a house. Actually, a few houses. So that's how I combined these two and riffed off. So this one was also, no, I acquired everything from the last time. Or the last video. This is my 8th yard 18 count Velt Ada fabric. But this calls for this pattern on the chart calls for 36 count Small Potato by Lap and Loops. So because I'm still a newbie at cross stitching, I was like, how in the world am I gonna do this? Because it's an 18 count and I had heard that it's the same size, right? But it called for 1 piece of string and you go over 2 holes. So 1 over 2. 1 piece of string over 2 holes. So I started doing that and you guys, these stitches were turning out so big and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna fit and I don't know if I'm doing it right. So I ended up taking it out and I Googled and I searched everywhere I could, and everywhere said that on 18 count you should be using, especially over 2, you should be using 2 or even 3 threads. So I was like, okay, back up, we're gonna do 2 threads. And then I started again and the pattern was still obviously still big because I'm still, and I was like, I still, you know, obviously it's not gonna fit. And so, or if it does, it's tight. I'm just like, I don't like how big this is. It's only supposed to be a 6 1/8 high by 10 1/8 wide, which is why I got this fabric. And so I ended up taking it out again and I ended up cross stitching this. It is 1 over, no, I'm sorry. I used 2 threads that go over one. So just a regular X, just going up diagonal one, not skipping 2 holes, or not skipping to 2 holes. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh. 2 strings over 1. So it's just a regular X on every little box. And so this is what I got. And I know that fabric, that string is light, but I'm fine with it. I really am. I like this green, and I actually am wondering if I should have moved it over more towards this green, because look at that. But it's fine. If I barely touch it, then okay. I don't even know if I'm gonna touch it. I don't know if the pattern's gonna touch it, but this is a start. And so I got this done, and it's good. I'm content with it now. Like I'm happy with it. And this isn't even as far, I don't know, this is half of the stitches that I need. So it'll be like over here. So I think that fits more the ratio. And if you guys are laughing at me because you're like, oh, yeah, it should be, it's obvious. You should be stitching over 1, or I don't know, on 18 count. I don't know those things. I'm still learning. So anyways, that was fun. And then you guys, I've been struggling sleeping with all my loss lately. I just don't want to wake up the next day and do it all over and put on a happy face, and I just don't, you know, it's hard when you face loss. And so I have done what I could to just live and be happy. And I stayed up late, and I was like, you know what, it's 1, let's go ahead and roll. Like, I'm ready for the next day, because again, this is how I do it. So I rolled, and I ended up getting Fall on the Farm, which is a current cross stitch that I'm working on. So here it is. I'm working on number 1. I'm doing this one on a big, like a 1 piece. So I think there's like nine houses or little of these, and I'm doing it all on 1 piece of fabric. So I went ahead and pulled that out, and this is my last one since they just closed the Riff Off. And how did I riff off? I riffed off because I was like, how in the world am I combining this? Oh, you can't use the same excuse to jump off another, and you have to explain why, right? So I was like, oh, there's a bowl of fruit, and she has a bowl of fruit right there. So I riffed off with that, and I was excited there was something I could use for that. So I'll go ahead and put the picture of my before, and here is my after. I love it. You guys, this is so cute. My kids actually really love this one. I think it's just because it's cartoony or kind of just cutesy. So with this one this morning, I was trying to just love on myself and just be happy with just my progress in life and stuff, and just find all the positivity in life. And I realized at the beginning I was making so many obvious mistakes, and I still do. Come on, like I still do. But I finally worked on this, and I realized I have come so far. This was one of my first cross stitches or cross stitch patterns that I bought, because I just fell in love with it so much. And this is what I mean about it. It's going to be on this. I have to recount. I'm totally off on some places. I had to fudge a little bit of this wagon over. I think on this white I may have not, some of the cross stitches are like half cross stitches. I don't know what I did, but it's all within the box, and it's okay. I love it, and only I know it. It looks happy, and my kids love it, and it reminds me so much of all my fall traditions, so I love it. And so that is my happiness for today. Is I worked on that, and I was really glad that I did. So that was all the Riff Off WIPS that I was I accomplished, and I was so proud of myself to do that, and it felt so good to do that, post my progress. I jumped in other people's and saw what they did, and it was just fun. The reasons why we move on to another one, the riffs, and it was just a fun thing. So they totally go check up WIP Warriors on Facebook, search it up, answer the questions, they'll let you in, and commit for next year. So that'll be, again, something we talk about here in 2025 plans. So let's continue with my WIPs, because I didn't film my video like 2 weeks ago and I needed that break. I went ahead and I have a lot of WIPs, and it feels so good to have so much progress. So I found this basket I found a while ago. I know I thrifted it, and it was only like $3, $4. I loved it, and so I bought it. And I find that as I work on projects, I just fill it. So at the beginning, so I have it, so like after today, I will just put I think I have a video of everything that's in here. My little baggie with all my needles, scissors, etc. in here. I put my glasses thing. By the way, I broke a lens just the other day, just to top off the bad day vibes on the other day. My glasses, and that, I think that's all I put in. Yeah, I put this in, and then as I finish projects, I just put them in there. So I found that was an easy way. That way I could have all my projects and not forgetting anything to show you guys. Anyways, so my basket was full. Those were just this past week. So let's continue. Oh, okay. So the Quilted Witch was one that I also had, that I was working on from October. And so this was, I'm trying to remember if my last video kind of had a little bit of October in it. I think it did. And so this is the project or progress I have. Okay, so first off, if I have the video or if I have a picture of the before, I'll put it up. If not, I'll just tell you. Really quick. Do you guys know that I've seen people with like those like round things, and they put all their thread? I don't know what they're called, and I don't really know how to search them up. I'm like, those things that hold the threads, like, I haven't been able to find them. So if I'll ask, and if I have an answer, then you guys spared me all that time looking for it, trying to figure it out. But if you guys know, is it like a thread? No, it's not a thread catcher, because isn't that what you put, like discarded thread? Anyways, this is my project, and so far I had to frog a million things. Like, I was so proud of myself for my last time's project, because last time I just had this one right here, this little star, and like these two. And then I think I did like a couple pieces in this, and I had to unstitch it. And because, actually, did I fully unstitch it? Yeah, I did. I just didn't count correctly. Look at all the detail, like the little, I don't know. It's just so cute. This is part of the witch's skirt. This is, actually, this is all of this. This is like before you get to her mid area. It's just on, this is the beginning of the skirt. And then it'll go down. And then the little twinkle star is just a random little twinkle star in the middle of the air. Anyways, so that's my progress. I'm ready to put her away. I didn't, like, looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's not a lot of progress. But it's okay, because it's a lot of progress for me. And I enjoyed. This one does have a lot of color changes. And so I think last time I called it cross stitching, but it's not. Isn't it like like you park your threads or something like that? I think that's what it's called. It's like parking your threads. So, oh, other thing. Who in the world, like, I have looked at so many thread organizing systems, and I really have, like, I really thought I enjoyed leaving all the DMC in it like this, you know, just leave it all. I don't take it out. I don't mind unwinding. It's actually enjoyable for me to unwind it and swap colors. But I was recently thinking that I want to switch it because there's so many times I'm looking for a thread color and I know I only need a little bit and I can't find it, and I know it's in a project, and I almost feel like I'm wasting money by buying. I might have like 1,000,310s out there, and you know, and I don't need to go buy another one, and I know a project might only use a little bit, you know what I mean? And so I'm like trying to decide how I want to organize things so I can pop them off, and I'm almost thinking, like, the Seattle Stitcher was talking about this, and I needed to watch her video again, but she was mentioning she wants to like organize them and be able to pull them out with her project. Sometimes you want to grab project and go, but I'm kind of thinking I want like a wall to hang up all my numbers, but I feel like that's gonna be a big wall. I think just because I started, I don't know, you guys, I don't know. And so I don't know, I just want a system where I could pick colors, a few colors that I think I'm going to use for that session, and sit down and use it and then put them away. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So if anyone has pictures, ideas, YouTube videos that do things like that, please let me know. I also, if you guys ever email me, I think I have an email attached to it that I set up, and I don't remember what it is. I have tried logging in, and I think I was trying to log into someone else's email. So message me or something on my Instagram. I don't know if you know. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Reach me on Instagram if you know, or you could leave a message down here. Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. I just had to know if you guys knew of anything else. Oh, you guys, I was so excited. So this was supposed to be my sal for this year. Okay. So this was part of the cross stitch right here, or the sal. I bought this needle minder, which is one of my first needle minders. I actually have, this is needle minder number 2. I love this one. Anyways, so here's the progress I made. I filled in. I did a lot of fill-in. When I wanted my mind to just relax, I did all this fill-in. And I think I did the windows. And don't look too hard because I'm off on one of those, on count. On those. It's fine. It's fine. I love it. Okay. Let's go through because my phone pinged me on storage. Again. Always. I'm always getting pinged on storage. Okay. So my other one is Halloween Party. This one is my Whip Go, and obviously on my spinning wheel because of that. I finished a bunch of that banner, the pumpkin face, a bunch of this bottom part, started on the ghost, worked on the windows on that. I think that's what I did one night. So that's some fun progress on Halloween Party. Okay, I was able to pull out Pumpkin Patch by Primrose Cottages, which is hilarious because this was one of my first starts. I thought this pattern was so cute, and it still is. It's cute, and so I want to finish it. And so I don't know if I have a video or a picture, whoops, on it. but this was, I want to say, my very first pattern. I went ahead and finished the cider and this hay, or HA for hayride, and the pumpkin. This was my first one of my first ones because I put this tape on. I didn't know how to stop the fraying. And I want to say this is just a scrap piece of fabric that I had from Hobby Lobby, Ada maybe. And I think we're on my last WIP. So my last WIP that I was able to work on is my log cabin squirrel WIP. So this one is also a big lady. She's a big pattern. I'm putting all of them on. I love this one. I love Little House Needlework so much. And so my progress was this fence, beginning of the bird, wagon. Did I finish some of that tree? This was one of my first November stitches I worked on. So anyways, this one's gonna be a big one too, which is a perfect segue to my haul. So let's talk haul. I have been getting monthly hauls, and my number 9 just came in, which I believe is the last one, right, in the series. I love this one so much. I'm excited to finish off this one on, obviously, on the whenever I get to it. Look at that tree wearing that Santa hat. And look at that cute snowman. Isn't that one of the cutest little snowmen you've ever seen? And that moon, that looks like it might be midnight. Cold. Oh, just kidding. It's so cute. So this was one of my hauls. I was really excited to get, and that might be the end of that. I was getting that every month, and that was really fun to do. So I feel like I'm up and close on the camera, but I'm just trying to go work through stuff. Okay, so my next haul is not here yet, so I will just tell you about it, and I'll just have to show you maybe in the next video if I remember that I have it. I need to show you guys physically. But WIP Warriors, I guess, has a book, and oh my gosh, the sun is coming out. Let me lean back a little bit. It'll help me lean back. They have a book that helps you obviously stay on task and everything. It's just the WIP Warriors books. It has everything from like a WIP Go chart to a bunch of games that they usually do on there. It has, I think, calendar, a place to track your progress. It has all sorts of things. I can see, I don't know how to tag. I don't know if I know how to tag other videos, but it's, I might have to see if she has a walkthrough. Anyways, I could just show you guys next time and kind of give you guys an overall walkthrough of it. I'll write it down. And so that I got, my husband got me, and then my last haul, because I'm trying to slow that down, is obviously one of my hauls was getting stuff for Primrose Cottage free monthly stitch. My thought is I want to keep doing those. Those are just so fun. They're like little fun perks. I don't know. And so my last, so I got stuff to do that Primrose Cottage, that freebie. My last and final one thing that I got was I committed to Heaven and Earth Designs 2025 Sal. And I'm scared. Because I started my Eagle Mounted cross stitch on leap year on the day, and I'm only like a few hundred stitches in, and it's daunting. It's hard. Granted, I think I'm making it hard because I'm stitching 2 over 1 on my current, my only HAED cross stitch pattern that I have, Eagle Mountain. And I think I shouldn't be doing that. I think I need to be doing 1 over 1. Anyways, I'm struggling with that, so I might switch over and just be okay with it. I don't know. I don't know if I can mentally start over without feeling like tough. I don't know if you guys do that. If you guys feel, do you guys start over on a full cross stitch if you realize I don't want to do 2 over 1, I want to do 1 over 1, or do you just change it? Is it gonna ruin it for me? Like, I don't know. Is it, am I always gonna see that patch that I finished, or I don't know what to do. So please tell me what you would do. I need someone to tell me what you would do, so I feel like I have options. I don't know. Anyways, so okay, so I've talked to you guys about haul, WIP Warriors, my spins, WIP Go. Okay, so plans. The last thing was just plans for 2025, and the sun is coming out, and so it's great. It's just I need to stay back here and be quick, because if my camera dies and it dies here, I don't have anything else to erase right now, so I will just wrap it up and call it good whenever it dies. Okay, so plans for December. First off, I really am loving WIP Warriors. I'm committing to WIP Warriors. I am doing their sew what you want, when you want. I consider doing 25 and 25 cross, I consider doing 25 cross stitches in 2025, but I think I'm going to stick with sew what you want, when you want, see how that goes, with an emphasis on finishing 25. That is a lot, I know, because we haven't even talked about cross stitching and crocheting and knitting and my life. I mean, we have talked about my life. So I am going to commit to WIP Warriors, flat out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun journey for next year. So that is a process I will just continue showing you guys. I might show you guys on Instagram. I'm just trying to figure out how to do all my details, stay consistent with it, so I don't want to just like start throwing things. I don't know, maybe I should just throw things out there. Anyways, okay, so that HAED, Heaven, Earth, and Design, or Heaven, Earth, and Earth Design. I have committed to the Sal. Now I will post a picture of the 2 I am considering. It is the jellyfish one or Nature's King, the lion. And please tell me what you would do. I put a poll in their Facebook group because I was struggling deciding. And I love what everyone has said, but I want to hear what you guys think. Should I do the lion or the jellyfish? Now, I think these are just my thoughts. That might, I don't know, it'll help you decide or help me decide. The lion is something I would actually hang up in my house or for a time period. The jellyfish, we don't have anything underwater here. Like, we don't have those blues. Our house is blue outside, but we don't have those strong striking blues. But look at it. The texture of the jellyfish, all the color changes, all the different colors. It just looks fun. If you could tell, my cross stitches are very neutrals. I love the neutrals. But I wonder if I just want that one, you know, like that one crazy cross stitch that has a lot of colors that are just kind of fun. And so that's the reason why I want to stick with that, and the textures, and it's just cool. So another thing that I found out was that the jellyfish one might be AI created, and that makes me a little bit sad. And so I'm hesitant with that. I don't know if I want to support other creators. Like, I don't want AI to create everything we have. I don't know. I'm trying to decide where I stand with that. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what I want to do with that. Next, I feel like the lion has a lot of the similar colors, though on Facebook when I was taking the poll, they did show me a lot of, they showed me a lot of, or all the color schemes, like a few people that wrote, and honestly, there are a lot of different colors. It's just so subtle, and so I'm worried that I'm gonna get bored because my Eagle Mountain has a lot of the similar color, of the same color. Oh, okay. My family is gonna be coming home soon, so I should wrap it up. Okay, so but out of both, I would hands down choose the lion. Now they have this thing that if you finish 6 pages, you can qualify to get the other stitches, the other cross stitches, from my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So I'm like, should I get the jellyfish? Hoping and pushing and working so hard to finish 6 full cross stitch cover pages in 2025 to guarantee me getting the lion, or would I be so sad if I didn't get that lion, if I didn't finish the jellyfish? So should I stick with the safe and doing the lion? You guys, this is so hard. What would you do? I am leaning, you know what? I wake up every day and I'm like, I'm gonna do the lion. Oh no, I'm gonna do the jellyfish. So like today, I'm kind of feeling like, I'll just go towards the lion. And then part of me is like, oh, but those jellyfish, you know, I don't know, so silly. Anyways, so those are so far kind of my plans for this coming year. For December, I don't know if I'm gonna do the spinning wheel. I wonder if I'm just gonna do a WIP Warriors alone and see how I like that, so that way when the new year starts, I can know if I should just do spinning wheels that help me. I don't know. I do like the spinning wheel. It kind of keeps me narrowed into what projects I want to work on. So it's pretty much a list of projects I want to work on for that month, and then within that list I will use those. But if a game pops up that I could use other projects, then I will do that. I don't know, guys. I'm figuring it out. So that's planned so far. I will make a list, so the next time I shoot this video, I hope to show you guys my actual layout of December plans. Right now, I am just enjoying cross-stitching anything Thanksgiving and gathering and family and just love, because I need all the hugs that I can get, including in my hobbies. So talking about hobbies and loving, I guess that was it for cross-stitching. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will touch really quickly on quilting and my other hobbies, and if you want to stay and see what else I've been up to, keeping my brain busy so I don't sulk or be sad with life sometimes. So I guess first off, just because my plants are here, oh, I don't know if I should. I am big into plants too, you guys. I know, gardening, planting, all that stuff, but because it's winter, I'm not. Anyways, my plants grow a ton here during winter. People say not to fertilize during winter, but man, my plants grow. So I just fertilized. I've done this for years, so but my plants are doing great. And let me show you 2 plants that I recently got. And I should show you guys another plant. So I have a Hoya upstairs. It's a heart, it's a sweet heart plant. I got it on behalf of my aunt. She looked for hearts everywhere she went. And when I found this Hoya, it's a Hoya carrii plant. It has hearts. I'll put a picture up to show you guys. But it's such a cute plant. So I ended up keeping one part of the plant. And then I'm going to gift the main part to my cousins so they can love it and remember their mom. This was the next plant I got. It's a ring of fire, and I have wanted this plant so much. Look at the variegation. It is so cute. You guys, I'm so excited. Let's hope that I keep this guy alive. But I just had to show you. I had to show you, for all you cross stitchers out there, how beautiful plants are when you're sitting there and just enjoying life, how beautiful they can be next to your cross stitches. So I put this one in my room, in my cross stitch room, and this is a philodendron of some sorts, and it's leafing because it's happy, and I'm just so excited. So this is a light green. It's just so interesting. Look how big those leaves are. And it's just a baby. Anyways, so that's besides. I was going to post that on my blog, but I just had to show you guys. Okay, moving on past the plants. So the snuggling. I went to Pinner's Conference. I told you guys about my chunky blanket. So I've always been interested in these chunky blankets that are hand stitched or hand crocheted. And this is my creation, you guys. And I bought some really beautiful yarn that's so soft. And I have felt other chunky yarn, and it's soft, it's good. But this stuff like was worth the cost. And I got the each ball at a really low price comparatively. So I was really excited. This took 6 balls to make a throw. Look at that. And I did 3 I don't know what they're called. I'm still learning the lingo of cross or crocheting, but I did 3 that were going to the front, 3 that were going to the back. So I just changed the way I did it, and so it gave me this fun pattern. And this my family has loved, and it has traveled throughout my house. So, oh my gosh, I love it so much. So that is something I wanted you guys to see. And I finished that in a day when I really put my mind to it. And then the last thing, my quilting. You guys, it's hanging out behind me. This, I don't know if I could show you guys very well. I did my wall, and my wall has this rod. This is for future use. I have 9-foot wall, or 9-foot ceilings, I should say, in my basement, so that way I could hang like longer things. And this is going to be my like crafting area, and this is my project board. So I'm going to hang my current, and it is so good because do you see this edge over here that I found out I left off a stripe? I actually have to undo the whole top, this whole top layer. And I forgot one little strip that makes it shorter on the end. So once I put it in that, it should lengthen it, and it should be just fine. I want to put a frame around my thread, and so it looks like a picture. And that's just my project wall area so far. Oh my gosh, my phone's not staying where I want it to. Okay, and this is my project wall, my current project wall. So I think I had only finished, okay, I'm going to push the camera back up really quick. I think this is January, the middle one is February, and the last one is March. This lower one is April, May, this is my temperature quilt, June. So the tree that's on there is the 31st day. So every square is a block of 5-degree temperatures. So if it's 61 or 60 to 65 degrees, it's a color. If it's 66 degrees to 70, you know, like that's just how they do it. Then you switch to the next color. Anyway, so you could see the temperatures, and those are my lower colors. So you will be seeing some of those colors again back in December. This one is my July. This one is my July block. And this right here is my August. They're my August blocks. So this is what I have going on so far. I love these colors, you guys. And this block of colors is different from these block of colors. I know they look so similar, but I did curate my own color scheme, and I love it so much because I wanted a cottage core feel. I just love the cottage feel. And then if you can tell, I have had this block done from Lori Holt's Autumn Love quilt. Is it called Autumn Love? Or Harvest? I don't remember what it's called. Anyways, so that is on there for inspiration because I gotta keep going on that quilt. I just was working on my temperature quilt. Again, all my quilting goals stopped this past year because of the yard. And now that I have my yard and I'm able to garden and all that stuff back up, that's another hobby that continues. So during the fall, winter times, I literally just enjoy all my projects in here. And I still do on the summer. It's just summertime. I'll show you guys what I do out there. Anyways, so that's my quilt stuff. That's where I'm at with my quilting. I'm trying to decide if I want to separate from cross stitching and if I just do a quilt tube or if it's just going to be so small. It's just like a little snippet. And so I don't know if I want to do that or if I just keep Flosstube, Quilttube, all projects combined, and I just kind of give you a little brief touch on stuff and let you know how it is in the fiber world here in my home. And anyways, well, you guys enjoy the next couple weeks. Let's see, 17th. Oh, you guys, I'm coming back on when it's like December. So we will most definitely talk about December plans, New Year's plans, well, December plans mainly. Show you guys progress on that, and I hope you guys have a great next couple weeks. I know I am going to enjoy life, slow down, and just enjoy being happy right now because I think that's what we need during this time, is just happy time. So have such a great day. We'll see you guys. Bye.